Get started. I'm going to turn the program over to Rich, and he's going to go through some of the various bags that he has and what you may need for disaster preparedness. And also, everything this way is his bags, but I wanted to show you, we live about 3 miles this direction. Our family, we were lucky. As far as our property, we weren't really affected by the tornado. We had some damage, minor. My brother-in-law, he had a lot more damage with the farm. But after the tornado, right after Christmas, we all sat down one evening and we made up bags for ourselves. The 2 bags there on the end, those are my boys' bags. That's what they have. They hang on the end of their bed, and if there's we have another bad storm or some other need, they know those are their bags. They grab those. Jesse and I, we both have bags ourselves, but we don't necessarily have everything that Rich has got in some of his stuff, but we have some of the necessities that we need for. As you see down at the bottom, I know Rich may talk about this, the letters at the very bottom of the presentation, that's call sign. Rich is a ham radio operator, myself, Jesse, both of my boys, we're ham radio operators. Mike State, he's also a ham radio operator. The letters and numbers there, that's our call sign. That's Rich's call sign. We all have call signs as well. But anyway, that kind of explains what some of that is. But I'm going to turn the program over to Rich, and he'll go through it. At the end, we do have some evaluations and stuff, and then project recovery is also going to proceed as well. So, Rich.
Work with JL and Melanie a lot. We actually instruct the first and some other things along the way. So some of this will mix in with that somewhat. I always say that bags are like shoes, you just can't have too many. So anyway, this is a presentation I gave to Murray State University Amateur Radio Club a few months ago, I think back in April or May this year. So if you have any questions or any comments, we'll entertain them as we go along. Some things I'll go over tonight. What's the reason for a go bag? Go bag, preparedness bag, and I'll get into some of that a little bit, whatever you want to call it. Choosing the right bag, what goes in the bag, and where to keep the bag. Then there's some of the sources and links that I used at the bottom to put this together. What's the reason for a go bag? I like to interact, so I like to teach. So anybody, what's the reason for a go bag?
Have necessities.
Have necessities. That's right. Depending on if it's an evacuation, consideration possible or imminent. Imminent means like the hurricane's coming, like down in Florida, it's imminent. You all know around here, know still sensitive to this area, the tornado in December. That's imminent. Go bags are required for each family member to have and an animal that is going. They need their go bag, believe it or not. Don't think about it. Protecting your family, your home, your business. In my line of work, I'm a school resource officer at the school. I'll get into it a little bit with the black bag on that table. I just recently purchased, put together as a active shooter bag. Total different purpose than the rest of it. Where you keep it, what's in it, what's best for you. My bags are built to where they go from right now all the way to whenever. So if I can get to this bag, as long as I can carry it, this isn't the bag I carry, this goes in the truck or the Jeep. So it depends on where you are, what you're doing, and what you might need it for. I don't want to lose focus on the word bag. We have different sizes. I mean, I've seen people use rolling tool boxes, other different things, just depending on what you want to do. I also have a rolling toolbox. When I was in the military before I retired, it was we've got an hour or whatever. Throw that in the truck at the time, and it goes home with us. I own 80 acres over near Kirksey. So that's where we were going to if something happened. Difference between a go bag and a travel bag. Anybody want to talk about a travel bag? What you take in your travel bag? JL, what do you put in your travel bag?
Clothes.
And clothes. A lot of people today that's optional, but yes, clothes. Toiletries, medication, CPAP machine, if you have that kind of thing, you know? Okay? A go bag is basically a bag if you're displaced from your normal living environment. Okay? You've got to go. You've got to go now. What do you put in it? You got to have stuff to get you food till actually whenever. Okay, there's some good examples. The one on the top left is Melanie's go bag. Paisley's. Melanie, that's yours, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's make sure. All the way down, let's see, where is it? Go bag there, you've got some of the bags like I have, some bags like Ben's boys have got, and just another roll bag. It can be whatever you have. You can get it at Goodwill, you can get it wherever as long as it's what you might need. Choosing the right bag. As I talked about a couple minutes ago, I go from little bitty pocket things all the way up to I can barely carry it bags. Depends on what you want it for, but the biggest thing you're going to get out of tonight is having it and having access to it. If you're at work and something comes up but it's at home, you can't get to it. So a lot of mine travels with me wherever I go. I have one at work, I may have one at home, I may have one in your truck or your Jeep or whatever. I prefer to use quality bags. My wife gets on to me all the time that I've got too many bags, but hey, but I get a good quality bag to take the weight or whatever I want to put into it. I started with some little bags that you might buy at Walmart, something you might get at a Goodwill store. That's how I got started. The last line down there, the last sentence, the color of the bag may be important to you if you want to be gray man. Anybody know what I refer to gray man? Gray man is
The guy that doesn't stick out.
the guy that doesn't stick out. The bag on the end, that one is not a gray man bag. That's a military bag, so they're gonna think that I may have specialized training, or I may just be crazy. Maybe both. That's okay. So, pick up a Goodwill, that's right. This is more of a gray man bag. You're gonna blend in with your environment. You don't look military, you don't look whatever, you don't look like a homeless person, no disrespect to people, but you sort of blend in with whatever. I'm not dressed as a gray man either. I've got 511 pants on, which is more of a response pants like police or military. Blue jeans and a sweatshirt, that's more fitting as a gray man. I say man, I meant man, woman, doesn't matter now. But you want to fit in. So one of the things I'm getting to tonight is not just leaving your house, but what if we get riots and things going on. You sort of want to blend in like gray man does. Okay. There's a couple of my bags. The one on the left, the tan one, is this bag here. It's a very good bag. It's very good sized. It will expand out. It will collapse down. The other one on the end there is this is my work go bag. So inside it has spare ammo, it has handcuffs, it has thing goes around my arm to identify I'm a police officer if I'm in civilian clothes. So it's got all kinds of different things in there that I would need to do that job. So I keep it in my patrol vehicle. I keep it in my personal vehicle when I travel in it. So if I have to take action at a minute mark that's being held up, whatever the case, that is what is in that bag. Handcuff key on the outside, that's what that bag is designed for. This bag, larger in size. It's got a stainless steel 1 liter bottle at the end. Why stainless versus plastic? You can put that in the fire and heat it and boil water, where you put it in that plastic gouging bottle. I'm D-ring crazy. In the military, you learn to tie your stuff down or hook it to something so it's right where you left it. You don't have to go looking for it. A knife. You get these at Tractor Supply someplace else. You see how that one's been used quite a bit. Stainless steel, but easy to use. On the outside pockets, I've got like Pepto-Bismol tablets, Tylenol, ibuprofen, notepad, small pen, all kinds of different things. Batteries, I started out with black tape and taping my batteries into a little pack of 4. Then I made a little more money and got these off Amazon. Amazon's my friend. My wife don't think so. Coffee comes almost every day about something going on. Tylenol, coffee drinkers in here. Instant coffee. A whistle alert. Anybody know what the alert is for if you're in trouble?
Blowing on.
I'm sorry?
Blowing.
Okay, heard somebody say something about three.
Blow 3 times.
Blow 3 times. What if you don't have a whistle?
You wait.
3 gunshots in the same succession. Okay, three sounds of any sort beating on metal means that you're in trouble. Okay, that's like an SOS. Fire source, a lighter, there's a compass in there. In the main compartment, I have, and I'm not gonna take it out because it'll take forever to get back. I have the metal cup that goes with this, slides on the bottom. I also have a sleeping bag, one of the SOL sleeping bags in there. So this bag is my 3-day bag. This will get me along 3 days, wherever I need to be. It'll take me through 3 days, okay? And as I say, I step up. If I can get this bag and this bag, I'm in really, really good shape. If I gotta ever get to this bag, I'm in good shape, and whoever else is chasing me is in bad shape. So, you can figure out what's inside. So different bags for different things. Let's move on, then we'll talk about some stuff. I'm gonna move this up. I like moving. What's inside the bag? Okay. Personal items, ID, health insurance card, right? Might need that. Social security card or a copy thereof, yes, sir. Sorry.
You're supposed to carry your insurance card in your pocket.
Or did we just put a copy of them in there?
You can carry it in your pocket. What if you lose your wallet?
Yeah.
You ever lost your wallet?
Yes, sir. I plowed it under.
Everybody in your probably has done that at some point in time. Tonight, the bags and things I'm talking about may not be your only source, but it is your backup source.
Okay.
This is, I wouldn't carry my driver's license in this bag, I carry it in my pocket. But this is, you can make copies of whatever, put it in a Ziploc bag, or whatever the case may be. Passport, you may or may not want, I don't have my passport in there. But if I take off, I know exactly where it's at to grab it and throw it in there. Medication, got some backup medication. You have to have certain medication every day. Self-defense, your own preference, okay? Y'all know my preference. That's the nature of my job. And I always say, well, there's one, there's room for 2, maybe 3. So that's the way it works. Multi-tool, Berber tool, Leatherman, whatever the case may be. Bob says I have too many of those to do, but there's one in each of these bags. And I built my bags to go from what I can get to right now to whatever I can get me through to later. Water or ability to filter water. This bag here has a Sawyer water filter in it. Okay, small little water filter you get at Walmart or some other tactical style store, outdoor store.
Life straws.
Live straws are good. They've come along a lot better when I put this bag together. I chose the Sawyer filter, but the live straws will work really well. They're really nice. Food source, a spork. Everybody knows what a spork is. I have a aluminum or a titanium spork, I think, in 3 of the 4 of these bags. I started out when I was traveling with the military that it seemed like you ordered out, they never would seem to give you tableware. So I ended up purchasing a spork and just keeping it in my bag. But something to eat, something to cut with. Trash bag, trash in, trash out. Also use it for water protection. Temporary shelter, we talked about the sleeping bag a while ago. You can use, again, the trash bag. You can use all kinds of different things for shelter. Okay. Fire source, whether it's a lighter, whether it's flint and steel, ferro rod, travel size toiletries. I have to have shampoo, as you see. So you gotta have that stuff with you. My soap is primarily Dawn dishwashing soap, by the way. That's the cure-all for everything, I think. I use it to shampoo my dog because that way it kills the fleas. Not that he has fleas now, but if he does. Cellular telephone with charger. Anybody in here not have a cell phone? All right. So you got to have that cell phone, and you got to have some way to charge it. There's all kinds of sources out there, little battery packs, spare cord, plugs into the wall. Flashlight or lighting device other than your cellular phone. If you're using your cellular phone for your flashlight, guess what?
Battery.
Yes, sir. Exactly. So have a flashlight and use it as a flashlight. Spare batteries. You saw the spare batteries I had in my bag. Ham radio. If you have a ham radio, everybody knows what the Battlefield radios are. They're about $27 a piece on Amazon. And I don't get kickback from Amazon, by the way. But to have a radio program. They also have an AM, FM radio within that radio. Money in small increments. JL can't take $100 bills. JL don't do that. Because then if you have to barter, you have to buy something, all you have is $100 bills to go like fives. I would say fives or tens. No higher, no larger than that. Spare keys. One of the bags, I got a key to get into a place on my farm that's got spare other keys. See how that sort of works. So have those with you. You have a lot of vehicles nowadays that have the fobs and the programmed stuff. It makes it a little more difficult. Paper pen, local map, electrical tape. When I was in Afghanistan, a friend of mine said, "Hey, what can I send you?" I said, "A bunch of electrical tape and a bunch of zip ties." He said, "Like, what are you doing with that?" I said, "I can do all kinds of stuff with that over here." So they're very handy. Down at the bottom, you see, I say gas valve wrench. The gentleman over here earlier said, "I know what that is." That's what that is. It's small in nature. Gas here, for residential basically. Commercial gas goes a little bit larger. And then your water turnoff. Also window breaker. This one is either aluminum alloy. I think that's what this one is. I like it because it says made in USA on it. But it's a lot lighter than a steel one you can get at Lowe's. Okay. One reason I carry one of those pretty much in at least one of my bags in my vehicles is when we were in Mayfield in December. I was dispatching teams out of the EOC, and the number one thing I was getting back was there's gas spewing everywhere. So immediately they started grabbing gas wrenches and just going around turning gas off, valving gas off because there's just gas spewed everywhere. It's just something handy to have. Another thing I have at the bottom, I don't know if anybody knows what this is. Might be a little shelf in there. Everybody know what that is? Huh?
Socket, isn't
No?
Water wrench.
Water wrench. What do you mean water wrench?
What turf?
Yeah, what do you mean by water wrench though?
I used to have to different sizes to turn them on and off, but you
Yeah.
don't have a handle.
That's exactly right. From a ranger that used to work on the state park, if you have to leave home and you're out somewhere and you look down and there's a valve, but there's no handle on it, that will take care of all of it. If it's got a little lid on it, it'll unlock the lid. Then one of these will turn the valve for you to get water. So now you have the ability to get water from multiple places if there's no handles on it. There's a lot of places will take their handles off, but nobody will just leave them turned on. Handy thing to have. That's the Lowe's version. A lot of places sell those. And if you notice at the bottom, I say something about there is a channel lock style pliers. Slip-on pliers, the ones that expand out pretty good. You can always use those for different things. Bottom says SD card or thumb drive. Everybody know what those are?
What?
SD card or thumb drive? Okay. That's a little device right there that is, I think, 128 gigabytes of memory, like your computer.
Oh.
That's about 10 times larger than the first computer that I had. On this, I'll show you what you can put on. The SD card's a little square card thing. That's what's on my SD card or thumb drive. Copy of my birth certificate, social security card, driver's license, pictures of my passport, health insurance card, emergency contact, family names, addresses, and phone numbers. Like JL doesn't live in Cali County like I do. I'm gonna have JL on my list so that I got his contact information because Cali County was wiped out. So like, middle and North Graves was, and on South Graves. Medical records, shop records. That little card they're telling us we gotta carry around now, show that we've had our COVID vaccine, right?
Yeah.
That'll end up being on our real ID card before it's over with, guarantee it. So like the cat card, JL. Home deed, car titles, registration, credit card information, banking information, power of attorney, will, pet information. Anybody in here have dogs, animals that you like? Who in here has some they really, really like? Okay. The information for them as well, okay? Some of them have a chip in them, some of them don't nowadays, depending on how things are. Okay. That is a lot of stuff to think about. And you can start preparing that in small chunks now. Yes, ma'am.
Talk about on the SD card or the thumb drive, do you have that open where I can take it and plug it into my computer and get your information?
It depends. This one is encrypted.
What's that?
Encrypted means that you can't just plug it in and there's all the information. You gotta have a password to open up the
Well,
encryption.
he's gotta have a password, and he has to get in it, what good is he gonna do?
No, he doesn't want me to get
I don't
into
want
it.
him to
I want
get
you to
in.
get in. That's why it's encrypted. But you may share it with her or your son or daughter or
Yeah.
whatever else. If something happens to me on this, it's all kinds of stuff, and here's the numbers you need to remember. Anybody ever watch, what's the Nicolas Cage movie? National Treasures?
Yeah.
Remember when they had to go to the library?
Yep.
And he had to know that he had to get in the door, then he had to punch the button, and he had to, that's,
Yeah.
it's just like this, to get where you gotta go. But
Well, why?
if you have all your private documents on here, you don't want somebody just open it up and getting to it. You want,
Well, if the tornado took your house, then you got your information there.
right. Or if the tornado took this away and somebody finds it, they could plug it in and get your data. You don't want everybody to have your data. There's certain people you want to have that passcode. So that's why it's important. What else? Did I hit on what you, we're talking about, we hit on that last time. Okay. Where to keep the go bag, okay? Let's see. I started this while ago with JL. Remember which one's which. I was talking to somebody a while ago about, remember I'm law enforcement, okay? You can't carry certain things, certain places, you can go some other way. In this bag, in this pouch, is a knife, a survival pin, by the way, which is one of those, but it's a pin inside as well, okay? So it's something you can carry around that's not considered exactly for magazines, cleaning kits, cleaning oil, Gerber tools, folding knife, fixed blade knife, saw, pick with handle, e-tool, compass, binocular, flashlight, spare batteries, lantern batteries, signal mirror, strobe light. This is a lot of stuff in here, VS17 panel that may need to replace stuff that was used or lost in the other bags. But this is also a robust bag, a box with all kinds of stuff. Matches, water bottles. You see off to the side, I talked about a food box. There talks about a food box. I started to put that stuff in this box, and I got to thinking that's got to be rotated out, and I'm lazy and won't do that. Tourniquet, medical tape, wet wipes, socks, underwear, t-shirts, jacket, sweatshirt, military poncho, tarp, survival blankets, military wool blankets, hand warmers, duct tape, rope, zip ties, nitro gloves. On note of that. Everybody familiar with fentanyl in the news?
What?
Fentanyl, it's the drug that one little dot, if it's the size of the top of that straw, that'll kill 10 people. Okay, that's how
What I want that for?
you don't. But all your drug addicts do, because it enhances the drug that they're using. So latex gloves, that will perforate the pores of it. So that's why if you're using gloves, to use nitro gloves, okay? I'm not saying it's 100%, but it's a lot closer than the latex. So if you're messing with something you're not sure, use nitrile gloves or some other chemical glove to keep that out from getting in. Throw all your latex gloves away unless you're just doing painting around the house. So don't use nitrile gloves. Always pack your bags and stuff if you have go bags with nitrile gloves. Don't use black gloves. Anybody know why you won't use black gloves? Melanie? You know why not to use black gloves? If you use a black gloves and you dip them in water, they look shiny black, right? If you get blood on them, what do they look like? Shiny black. So you can't tell if it's blood, water, or urine.
Oh,
Or what?
gotcha,
So don't use black gloves for first aid type situations. You want to use the blue or orange, or
gotcha.
something so you can tell what it is. Okay. Mess kits, that kind of stuff. I think that's all I've got on there. This is where I like to actively get into discussion. I've used about, 30 minutes or 35 minutes. And let y'all ask questions and open discussion about why maybe I put some of this stuff in there, why I didn't know I put something else in there, or I keep my bags and how that works.
Where do you get the spider wear? The spider wear?
Walmart, fishing section, spider wire. Spider wire is, it's made out of different stuff than your nylon fishing line.
Yeah.
But it'll take a lot more pressure. So you can use the same room, but a lot better product. It's a little more expensive, but it's well worth it.
Yeah.
Especially if you notice in there somewhere I had sewing needles. You take that sewing needles and that spider wire and repair your tent, repair your sleeping bag or whatever else. But I have sewing needles. Yep. I have sewing needles in a lot of my stuff and that kind of wire. What else? You still good? You good?
So where would you recommend just everyday people keep their bag?
It depends on what you have in it and what you want to do with it. I have multifaceted bags, as you can tell. My bags aren't just designed for a tornado.
Right.
My bags are designed for self-protection and protection of others. So I keep a bag in my Jeep. I keep this bag and that bag is in my Jeep all the time, and that they never leave unless I'm traveling away and decide to take those with me in another vehicle. This big monster stays in the house in the closet right by the front door because it's just too big.
So say you were my mom,
Okay.
and she's gonna fix a little bag in case something happens again. Where would you recommend that she keep?
Someplace that will be out of the way, but she knows it's exactly the same place every time. And that's why that bag, the biggest bag, is in my closet beside the front door. It's never gonna be moved. It's gonna stay right there. On the way out the door, we'll open the door, grab it, and out the door. So it's not something that you don't want a bag that you're gonna have to get in every day and get something out of. That's not what the bag's for. But it's exactly where you want it to be. You may know where it's at, so you have to come get her, and you open the door, you grab the bag, and away you go.
These two, they have clips on them. They're clipped at the end of the boys' bed.
Okay.
So just think about it. Tornadoes, when do our tornadoes usually happen? At night. They can grab these, they know exactly where they are, they can clip them, they can put them on. Reason why they're on the end of the bed, not in the basement? Well, think about, I know you know, JL knows, a lot of people during the tornado, they didn't go to shelter. They went to their vehicle, they got out. If these are on the end of their bed, we say, hey, let's go. We say, no, we're not going to the basement, get the truck. If those are in the basement, now we better go to the basement, get them, and go to the vehicle. If they get them off their end of their bed, put them on, they've got them with them wherever they're going. Or stay in our bedroom.
The only devil's advocate on this stuff, the only drawback to that is I want my bag not out in front of everybody. Because I don't want my buddies to know, hey, we got this one.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to play shenanigans on me once in a while.
Yeah.
Call me an old man and bald and stuff. I don't get it. But, so, I don't want it out there for somebody to mess with. So that's why I have it behind a closed door. But I know exactly where it's at.
Yeah.
So it all depends on your environment. You may not have other kids that come over to the house and play. So that's fine. But if you do, it's like a firearm. You don't want to leave it beside your bedside table when you have little kids or somebody else coming over the house. You want to put it somewhere else.
Right.
Same sort of principle. Same thing if you're in an office. Some people, you carry it in and out with you. The green bag, the police bag that I have there, little green bag, it goes almost in and out of the house with me and out of work, which is me every day. It's just one of those things you get used to. But you'll find out that you'll get used to it. And if you're at work, and you need something, you can get it out there immediately, like Tylenol or something like that. Carry the ones with a little pack. And guess what? You go home, guess what? Get a couple of routes slap right back in your bag. But if you want it big where you can get to it, you know where it's at, and nobody's gonna mess with it. Some people may say, well, put one of those little locks on it. Well,
You know the key.
if you're like JL, remember the key, remember the combination. It's actually more like me. So when you need in there, you need in there. So I just want left where I can get in anytime I want to, if nobody else gets in. Sorry to expand too much.
When you talk about the bags, you usually go with your car when you say go with an individual. Is there anything in particular vehicle you use that's not going to be go bags? Car players, anything like that.
My short barrel rifle in the police car, I might want to take that with me, but
I didn't
I
know.
might have one or two of those already, so. No, everything's in the bag, that's everything, and it's designed to where, okay, I got 2 cans of snuff in my pocket, gotta have flashlight over here, knife, Gerber tool, wallet, the knife back here. So when I go outside the house, I know what's on here, for what everyday carry, so that's what's here, but then that stacks on top of it. So I don't need to grab anything else. The next thing's gonna be if you take meds. What do you do there? Do you have a go bag of meds?
But like you said, I know like the water in the summer, things like that.
Right.
So that you get prepared, having your car already, so you wouldn't have to put your bag, we need to take some water with us, you know you got your water purification.
Right. It all depends on, everybody's situation in here is a little bit different, just a little bit different. So, yes, ma'am.
I might have missed this, but like in case of flood, water, do you recommend having things in a like Ziploc bag for waterproof to keep them in, keep them dry?
We talked about that just a little bit. In one of the bags, I've got some trash bags. It all depends on if you want the small kitchen bags or you want to. In the largest bag I have up there, I think I've got one of those big 55-gallon barrel trash bags in there. That's for a couple different things. Shelter, because you can turn it and rip some holes in it, and now you got a raincoat with no arms on it. Or you can waterproof your stuff. Also, in the large camouflage bag is a military poncho, which they teach us how to develop a raft with those. So you can wrap your bag in it and tie it up, and you can float on your bag that's covered with that poncho. To use it as a raft. So it all depends. If it's a flooding type situation, I'm probably gonna have that bag and be gone. That's, I know you're already near the river down here, but I would have the bag and be gone, so I'm not really concerned about it. And everything in there is pretty much, I didn't go into that much. Inside there, I've got some Ziploc bags. My socks, my underwear, spare stuff like that is in a Ziploc bag. And I got it to where I can reach in there, grab one Ziploc bag, and there's a t-shirt, socks, and a pair of drawers in there. So I can grab one bag and know exactly what's in it. So then you can use those bags later for something else. So to answer your question, yes and no. Yes, sir.
Is it to where, if you're in a family, that each bag builds on each other?
Yes. That's exactly what my bag, my wife's bag, and my 2 kids' bags, when they lived at home, they built on each other. In other words, I carried the heavy ammo. The 2 kids didn't carry heavy ammo. They carried lighter stuff. So they had this sort of the same, almost the same size bag of mine, but it wasn't near as heavy because I had the heavy stuff. They had the light stuff. They may have a blanket or something like that in there, so it's lighter, where I have 6 30-round magazines of 5.56 in there. But yes, sir. I also built a bug out plan some years ago to where if I have immediate 5 minutes, 15, 30, 5 hours, what do I take? All the way up to grab the bag and go, grab the 2 bags and go, grab barbecue grill, put in the back of the truck, somebody need it, and go. I mean, that's part of it. What you take what you can with you, and what, based off of what time you have left. And then if I called JL and said, meet me at 66, JL already knew what 66 meant, because that was our rally point where we were gonna meet at. But somebody heard that on the phone or heard it on the radio. I had no idea what we were talking about, but JL knew. We would meet there in a certain spot. So that's just one of those plans I think we have to put together. So if something happens, you get separated. What happens if you and your father get separated? Something really strange happens. What if you're at Disney World and you get separated? You know where to meet him at? Okay, that's another thing that we come up with. If you're at Disney World and something happens, you get separated, all right, you ask somebody and get you to this location. And that's where I'm gonna meet you at. A pre-designated meeting point. You can do that in real world daily as well. Okay, that's a big thing that happened during the tornado and other stuff is if y'all get hurt, you may go to Leward's and you may go to Murray Hospital. Nobody knows. So they're actually working on that process right now, but then inclined where people are going by a computer-based system. So if he's looking for both of you, he can talk to somebody that can tell him exactly who you are. Sorry about that. Yes, sir.
I didn't have, I had a call.
Okay.
We don't really talk about it because we're licensed, but what about for every day? What about FRS radios, GMRS?
There's FRS, which is Family Radio Service. Then there's GMRS, which is, I don't remember what
General Radio Service.
Yeah.
And there's one more, I can't remember it.
Those are like radios you can buy at Walmart or buy other places. You can step up in quality and price. And they are pre-configured radios that you can switch channels and talk to people on. And you can have I can tell Ben, okay, channel 14, security code 4. So switch it. If he's calling, then hopefully at some point in time we get close enough together we can talk to one another. Ham radio is the way to go. Sorry.
Those towers will go out.
They did during the winter ice storm 2009. The only way to talk was by ham radio, and they were talking from Mayfield, Kentucky to Frankfurt and telling them how bad it was because they wouldn't believe anybody. But that was the only thing that would talk from there to Frankfurt was ham radio. Good thing to have if you're interested in that kind of thing. When I get old, I have to ride around on my rascal. I sit there talking about ham radio and talk all over the world. Or pizza, but then.
As guys mentioned, we're all in an earthquake, so a major one. And from what I've heard, we would be weeks before we got help. Major metropolitan areas like Memphis and St. Louis would get the majority of help immediately, but we would be completely cut off. No bridges would be available, no communication outside your ham radio. So you'd have to be prepared for weeks of being on your own.
We'd be a peninsula out of Tennessee, because everything else would probably drop. Ohio, Mississippi, and across the lakes. Yes, sir.
What did you say?
If we get a large earthquake of a 6 or above, at least a 7, the bridges will probably fall.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't be able to get across the Ohio River, the Mississippi River, or the Kentucky or Tennessee, Kentucky Lake or Barkley Lake, basically. So it would be like a peninsula out of Tennessee. The only way we would get supplies is if they could get it through Tennessee to us, or they'd have to fly it in, or boat. So more than likely fly it in. Yes, sir.
We have POD, 2 PODs in Fulton County.
2 feet also.
What?
Points of debarkation.
And also points of distribution.
Yeah, that too.
Oh.
Debarkation, sorry. That's what, when you go overseas, you got points of debarkation.
That's where supplies are
Bangor,
being flown into us.
Galveston, Texas.
Okay,
See, my brain's is going worse than jail. He's a smart one with 2 of them. I thought about something else when you were talking a second ago. Oh, a story for 2009. I was in Walmart in Benton when everything was down. And no disrespect to anybody, I'm not that kind of person. You still okay? All right. No, news is good news, right? And there were people there in their Gucci clothes and that kind of stuff. Not being disrespectful, okay? Walking around like this. And you hear them talking like, what to do? That's just what to do. That's just what they don't know what they're gonna do. They had no idea because they did zero preparation. And they didn't listen to the weather. They didn't listen to the radio. Because they didn't believe that, the cow system don't know enough. So, so they didn't do any prep. So those people were the ones that hurt the worst. So we are rural communities and we will help each other, you know? So that's just sort of the way that works. It's like somebody told me when they said, are you putting a lot of food and stuff back? I said, I'm putting a little bit of that back, not so much. Put more bullets back. You can't eat them bullets. I said,
No, them bullets can kill something like me.
I got bullets, I've got food. You know? That's right. So, it's one of those things, you got to, it's not if it's gonna happen, it's when it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So that's just the way I live and prepare, it's not if, it's when. So, anyway, what else, anybody?
If you just name the acronyms that are around here, that we're not just the eyesore, you know, which is our area.
Well, right now, we're in a, you may or may not realize, I think y'all do probably, the seriousness of the drought that we're in.
Yeah.
We have farmers in the room. I have a farm that I lease out, and so I'm not sure what my soybeans are, because the Mississippi River is low enough that barges can't freely flow up and down the Mississippi River. So a lot of the grain is right down the backs of semi trucks. If it gets moist, it's going to mold, and that's going to be the end of it. So that's a significant thing that we're going through right now is the drought, which then is going to impact the food. It's going to impact the price. It's also going to impact then theft, murder rate, and everything else. Yes. Yeah, with Eastern Kentucky get washed away and we're in drought.
And now they're talking again about.
Well, I guess
They can get what they want.
$6 a gallon diesel. What else? Mel, you got questions? No.
Well, let's give Rich a round of applause. You can be around for a little bit longer.
Did you give out they've got some handouts over there?
I've got those, we'll give those out in just a
It's
minute.
it's really a hasty, watered down version of what I gave you, but it's some ideas from some Kentucky emergency management handouts and things I brought with me.
Let's turn it over to, do you have a question?
No, I just want to vote.
Okay, well, we're gonna get those. Let's turn it over to the project recovery group, for presentation, and then we'll also pass out some surveys as well.
People when that happens.
We've enjoyed having chili tonight, and we wanted to come down and kind of tell y'all what we do as Project Recovery, because I think that a lot of people aren't really sure what we do. And we'd like to have some more people at the support groups if we could. I think that it would be a good thing for people if they knew what we were doing and how we were doing it. I brought a lot of our brochures, some survivor group flyers. I've got some posters. I've got some cards. I've got some lanyards from Project Recovery. And what Project Recovery is it's a program that was designed by the state after the tornado. And we were put into action to talk to people and do support groups with people, go from house to house and provide mental health first aid. And in the very beginning, people were very focused on just getting those natural needs met, food, clothing, shelter. But now, after the aftermath, it's months into it, and people are starting to have things like depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. And these are things that we can talk about and help you all with. And we have some Project Recovery counselors with us here tonight. This is Matt, Joy, and Stephen. And you've all seen them at the support groups down here. And I'll let them talk a little bit about what they do and what they have experienced. You want to start, Matt?
Sure.
The tornado was rough on all of us, as we can all agree. It's been a different kind of experience. I guess personally, since we were also impacted. But it's been beneficial for those that I've spoken with, but also for myself. Just talking about everything that happened, and just talking through those those emotions and those feelings, and the support group that's here on Tuesday night. It's a great group of people. We come together. We eat, we fellowship, we laugh, we talk about Stephen's head, which is great, always great. But it's just a great time to come together and to try to process those feelings and those emotions, that anger that we didn't in the beginning because we were too busy worrying about where are we going to go, what are we going to do, what are we going to eat, where are we going to sleep. Now that for the most part those things are somewhat taken care of, now is when people are beginning to realize, and now I have this that I need to deal with. And so we're just there to help people do that, in a safe and friendly environment.
Like he said. No, right after the tornado, I got busy because that's the only way that I knew how to handle it. And started helping out at the distribution center, started helping out at my church. Then I worked side by side with FEMA for a while, and just being there to support anybody that came in that was really struggling. Like he said, that didn't know where they were going to go, what was going to happen next, what is there for my future now, those that lost everything, those that no longer had a place to live, lost family members, lost friends. I was able to be there to just comfort and listen. Everybody at that point, I think, was needing somebody to hear their story. They needed to get it out. And that's a big part of what our support group is about, is supporting each other. Everybody's got their story. Everybody went through this differently. Everybody responds differently to the emotions, to the trauma, to just survival mode, all of those things. And we're there to help each other. We may be crisis counselors, but we went through it as well. And so we can identify, we can just basically be there and listen and help each other get through the next step, the next storm, just to support each other. And that's what it's about. And we'd really love to have more people coming. We want to know your stories. We want to know what you're going through now, So that's what we're about. We like to give hugs. We like to laugh. We like to cry.
So my name is Stephen. I'm a crisis counselor as well. One of the biggest things is when this tornado first happened, a lot of people were in response mode. They're just trying to get taken care of real quick. A lot of people, they want to go and they want to help the next person. They want to help them get settled and get taken care of. But the biggest thing is that we don't worry about ourselves. We don't take care of self-care. We don't get that release and take care of ourselves when we're always worried about somebody else. And now that we're starting to get towards the anniversary date of this tornado, some feelings may come back. And the biggest thing is about this support group. We got a good group of people here. We do it in Grace County. We also do it in Marshall County as well. But we just sit around and we have good food. We sit around, we joke, we have a good time. The biggest thing is that some people, they suffer in silence. They want to be manly, or they want to be too prideful to reach out and ask for help. And it's okay to not be okay. You know, and the biggest thing about our group here is that we can meet you guys wherever you're at. We can come meet you at home and have some one-on-one just to hear you and talk. You guys can come to the support group, you know, anything like that. But we just want you guys to know that we are here to help. We're here to listen and not be judgmental. And it's okay to not be okay. But if you're not doing well, you should reach out for help, and it's all right. And we are here to listen. And if we can help you get through whatever you got going on, we can. If not, we can help you get some better help that can help. Better help that can help. That didn't come out right, but you know. So, yeah.
Hello.
A lot of people give physical support, but that's what they don't have to do the emotional.
Exactly.
So like Brother Jim, Miss Melanie, there's a few in the back here that they come regularly to our support group. And it's actually their support group, and we get to eat and we take turns bringing stuff. It's a good time. I enjoy coming down here and spending the Tuesday nights with them. So we have flyers out here for all the way through the end of December. We're going to be active, and this support group is on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. right here where you guys are at right now. So, and if you don't want to do the group thing, we have contact information. We have cards for all of us. You guys can get a hold of us one-on-one. You can talk to us over the phone. We can talk in person. You know, whatever we can do to try to help.
What about kids?
We can help with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
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 We're kid lovers.
Then we're apt to talk to a stranger, you know, like y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll do anything with long-term recovery. We'll do anything with long-term recovery.
I think I've talked to most everybody here that's been affected by the tornado. I'm Melanie Atwell. I'm the case manager. I'll be the first to tell you I don't have all the answers, but I'll be the first to tell you if I don't know, I'll probably find out. We do have some resources now if you're having trouble meeting unmet needs that I can work with you. We can apply for things, say flooring or shingles or appliances or whatever. If I haven't talked to you, I apologize. I've tried to get with everybody, but we also have a Casey's Recovery group page on Facebook, and I try to post stuff like tonight's meeting. I posted tree giveaway. I posted, and if you're going back to the beginning, right after the tornado, I was posting things on resources, like if you needed help. So if you scroll back, if you can't find what you're looking for, maybe it's there. If you can't find it, call me, text me, Facebook me, message me, however. I'll be glad to help you. And if there's something I'm not doing, please tell me. Because I'll tell you, I got in this because JL is EM director after the tornado. But then I stayed in it. Because I felt like our folks needed help.
Amen.
Yeah. That's like if he was saying if there's an earthquake, the metropolitan St. Louis, Memphis, and bigger cities are going to get that's where the help's going to go. Just like all the help went to Mayfield.
Yeah.
Everybody forgot Casey.
Yeah.
Which Melanie mentioned something about the tree giveaway. We do have some trees left over right outside. Please, if you would like a tree, please pick one up, two up, whatever. We had 150 trees donated from Hallbrook Nursery, which is in Todd County. And they actually donated between 4,000 and 5,000 trees. And those went to every county in Kentucky
that had tornado damage. So I'm not,
Oh, there's.
there was sweet gum
There's
and,
sweet gum and yellow poplar.
and yellow poplar whenever I brought them up here. I'm not sure what's out there right now. But we had several different things that we gave away last Friday. Those were what was left over. We received 150 trees, and there was 16 that I brought up here earlier this evening. So please take those and plant those. You might want to hold on to them a little bit and wait till we have a little bit of rain, because trying to dig a hole right now is probably not going to happen unless you have a jacket. Or a backhoe. Yeah. JL, do you want me to say anything? Judge Martin, would you like to say anything?
Well, wasn't prepared to, but, I know some of you people know what you've gone through. And, sometimes it takes something bad to happen to have something good come from that. So I think you're gonna see a lot of good come from what's happened here. Outside of the tornado, there's a lot of very positive things that are happening in Fulton County. You may have heard me talk about it a little bit. We're one of 40 counties in the nation that's getting special treatment right now. And we signed a contract with 17 federal funding agencies about bringing federal grants here to help us overcome where we have ended up economically. In 1940, we were on top of the heap. We were in the best shape we ever were, but we've had 80 years of economic sliding. You all know what I'm talking about. The per capita income in our county is below the average. Health issues in our county are worse than average. There's a lot of things going on in this county that has come from economic decline. So we're on a mission to turn this around, and now we have a vehicle to do that, and that's this new grant program. I can tell you that we have had only had meetings by Zoom with all the federal agencies. They're all coming here, all 17 of them, on November the 17th. They booked the entire Meadows Hotel. They're going to have to spill over into other hotels. And they're going to stay here and work with us. We've already got a commitment on daycare in Fulton and in Hickman. There's not a single daycare facility in all the 4 river counties. So if people are going to go to work, if we're fortunate enough to create jobs, people are going to go to work, we've got to deal with the daycare. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day about economic development. It sounds like a big word. But you know, it begins at home. It begins with your attitude about how you prepare yourself to participate in the community and work and go to school and go to church, pay your taxes, and do all the things that we need to do to be good citizens. So it's a huge picture. Daycare is part of that. And now we're working on a program. Back when I was younger, we would call it adult education. Now they're calling it something like incumbent worker program. And we've got some grants we're working on there. If we're fortunate enough to create new jobs, who's going to take those jobs and what kind of training do they need? Another program we're just starting, and I wish you'd spread this word. We have commitments from USDA on housing loans and grants for everybody that lives in Fulton County. And it is low and moderate income housing loans and grants. I can tell you that the loan program has got a 38-year payback, can be as low as 1% fixed for 38 years. And for people that are on the very low income part, it can be a grant. It could be up to $46,000 grant just to fix your house. So there's a lot of things going on here to deal with the houses of the people that had houses that have been damaged by the tornado. But it's not isolated to that. Now with this new program, it will cover everybody in the county. And I'm optimistic that Fulton County is going to be a good place to live today and going forward, because I think we've got a lot of good things going on there. Appreciate y'all coming tonight, and thank you for inviting me.
Before I forget tonight, I will get reminded of this later this week whenever I'm in the office. Miss Bernita Cheers, our 4-H agent, she wasn't able to be with us when we started. She had another event, but she is here. We have, and she'll help with handing out every family. between the extension office and, some of the leftover materials that were donated to Fulton County, we have some materials to kind of start your own emergency preparedness. There's first aid kit, there's some flashlights, blankets. I can't even remember everything that JL told me that was in there. Is in there, but there's a lot of different stuff. And please take those. That's one per family right now. We've got those available for y'all. Please leave your surveys on the table. We'll pick those up. And last thing, Miss Peggy Hill won the Give it to JL, he will look at it and he thinks he can program. There is a checklist back here. All right, go back. All right, he has a checklist of some emergency preparedness stuff. We also have some paperwork in the bag. They have some paperwork up here.
We got lanyards and a couple cards and little like PTSD, anger, depression, things like that. Just little cards, a couple flyers and things like that. Lanyards for your keys or whatever.
All right, and we appreciate it. This is a good evening.